Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and yes, I'm finally back. My voice is a lot better now, and thank you all for waiting for me. And today I'll be reading a CaitVi listener. So yeah, let's get into it. The morning had been ordinary. You were sitting at the small kitchen table in your apartment, watching Vi devour her fourth pancake, while Caitlyn scolded her for dripping syrup on the freshly cleaned floor. The sunlight streamed through the windows, painting everything in soft gold. Then, the siren started to blare. At first, no one thought much of it. It was just one distant wail. And then another, and another. Caitlin stiffened, her teacup halfway to her lips. That's not a drill. I frowned, already pushing back from the table. The hell's going on? He moved to the window, peeling back the curtain just enough to see the street below. And it was absolute chaos. People sprinting in every direction. A merchant overturning his cart in his panic, fruit scattering across the cobblestones. A group of enforcers sprinting past, rifles drawn, but they weren't chasing anyone. They were running from something. And then you saw it. A group of men, no, not men anymore. A group of creatures lurching after them. Their movements were wrong, their limbs dragging like a marionette, with its strings cut. Blood streaked across their faces, and their mouths hanging open in a silent snarl. One of the enforcers turned, firing, and the bullet tore through one of the creature's shoulders. But it didn't stop. Didn't even flinch. And your breath caught. Vi? We need to lock the doors, you said, your voice too calm. Caitlyn didn't ask too many questions. Not now. We had some things to do. She was already moving, securing the bolts on the windows, checking the rifle that she kept with her wherever she went. Vi grabbed your wrist once they were done. What did you say? You swallowed. Something's wrong with these people. They're not stopping when they're shot. They're not even people anymore. Vi's grip tightened. Like the shimmer addicts in the lanes. No. It's worse than that. A crash from downstairs sounded, and then glass shattering, a screen that was cut off too quickly, and Caitlyn's voice was steady. Barricade the door. The three of you worked fast, pushing the heavy oak table against the entrance, stacking chairs atop it. Vi dragged the bookshelf over for good measure. And yet, it wasn't enough. The first thing hit the door with enough force to rattle the frame, and Vi's gauntlets ignited. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Another thud, the wood splintering, and Caitlyn raised her rifle. Get ready. The door burst open, and it was a woman, or had been, once. Her dress was torn, her fingers clawed and bloody. Her eyes were milky white, her mouth stretched too wide. She lunged, and Caitlyn fired. The bullet took her through the forehead, and she dropped. And then there was silence. But the calm only lasted for a moment, because then it was followed by the sound of more footsteps, more growls, and you knew it was going to be difficult. You couldn't stay here for long, not if they knew where you were. And so you fought your way to the roof. The streets below were a nightmare. Fires burned unchecked. People fled, but the infected were everywhere, climbing, chasing, spreading. Caitlyn's hands were steady as she reloaded. We need to get to the station. If we can secure... A scream cut her off. A child, no older than 10, cowering in an alley below, cornered by 2 of the infected. Vi did not hesitate for a moment. She vaulted over the railing, gauntlets flaring. Vi, wait! Caitlyn's shout came too late. He watched, heart in her throat, as Vi slammed into the first creature, crushing its skull against the brick wall, and the second lunged, and Caitlyn shot it. The kid was crying, clinging to Vi's leg, and you and Caitlyn were already moving, sliding down the fire escape to join her. We can't stay here. Vi scooped the kid up. Then we move. He found shelter in an abandoned tailor shop. The windows were intact, the back door sturdy, and it was easier than the route to your home, or Caitlyn's, especially considering that your home was no place to go to now. The kid, Wen, curled up in a nest of fabric scraps, was finally sleeping. Vi leaned against the wall, her arms crossed. This is bad. Caitlyn cleaned her rifle methodically. We need to find out what's happening. You stared at your hands. They were shaking. And how do we fix this? No one answered. And outside, you could see the fire blaring. It was terrifying. You knew it would die out eventually. But you couldn't tell how many died, how many people remained, how many of your friends, of the people you saw every day, were affected. You didn't want to think about it. At the moment, you didn't want to think at all. You could only think about tomorrow, what you would run into, if there would be a tomorrow to come. But you knew for certain that you, Vi, and Caitlyn would have each other's backs until the very end, no matter what that might look like. You had each other. You trusted one another more than anything. And now, this child, you'd look after him, who was your own now, just like Vi and Caitlyn were. I hope you guys liked this, and if you did, don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and tell me if you want a part 2. I wrote this with a part 2 in mind, so if you do want the part 2 to come out, I want you to comment and tell me about it. And if this video gets 150 comments, then I will be doing a part 2. I know it's a little bit much, but I'm sure you can do it, if you want it. Anyway, I'll see you again soon, and yeah, thank you for watching.